All right, chat, we are doing today a YouTuber podcast tier list. Now, there's been a lot of new YouTube podcasts from YouTubers or streamers that have just been coming out. And so I've decided to just rank them all. Let's just get right into it. So the first podcast is the Yard Podcast. And I'm gonna be completely honest. This is the podcast that I listen to, I guess the most. The one that I've seen and watched the most out of everything else. And for that, I think Supreme. My demographic fits it the most, so don't be surprised that I put in Supreme. I'm not trying to glaze, okay? I'm not trying to glaze. It's just, again, my personal opinion, okay? Just my personal opinion, okay? That's just how it is. But it's a great podcast if you're a dude. I mean, hey, you know what? Sue me, right? Sue me for being a man. I'm just saying, you know.
Non-stop brought up child pageants, and now you want me to have
I was so clear that the child pageant was adults only. I couldn't have been more.
Next one is Lemonade Stand. It's with Ajryen, Doug, and also Aiden Calvin. Aiden Calvin is also a member of the Yard Podcast, but now this specific podcast it's basically like a business, tech, economics, socio-economic, socio-political podcast that they talk about just current events. I would say they've only had one episode out so far. They do have room to improve, okay? I already like it a lot. If you haven't seen the episode, go please watch it. It's really, really cool. I like it a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I like it a lot already. I think it's above average because it's only been one episode, so I don't expect them to I guess have developed as a podcast because podcasts change and they flow over time and they grow into their own. So I think this podcast needs to grow into its own before I can give it any higher ratings. But I think it's great. Now, the Fear and Podcast is a podcast with Hassan, Austin Show, Will Neff, and occasionally Cutie Cinderella. They're all there. It's like a rotating cast essentially because sometimes people show up, sometimes people don't show up. It's a good podcast. I think honestly, I'm gonna feel so awkward just posting this. Just saying all these words. I'm not trying to diss. It's just, I don't know what else to say other than, yeah, I don't have any more reasonings why. I think sometimes it's just not my cup of tea. I love Cutie Cinderella. Cutie Cinderella is probably one of the best people on the podcast. Speaking of Cutie Cinderella, Wine About It's been it's been on for a while now. It's with Cutie Cinderella again and Maya Higa. Both creators I think are awesome, are really cool. They're doing a lot of great things. It's just really weird, putting the Yard as number one and then everything else below. Don't worry, I think there's some S tier podcasts with women in them. Trust me. I swear, dude. I swear. Actually, honestly, okay, I'm being legit for real. This is a good podcast. It's scuffed in the way that there's a realness to it. There's a real scuffness to it, which I think is good. I talk about real subjects, but I think is important. I feel like whenever I watch this podcast, which I don't always watch their episodes, but when I do, they're bangers. But I think Cutie Cinderella and Maya are just awesome podcasters, and not just podcasters, they're streamers. They're content creators, so I think they're really cool. And I feel better about myself when I listen to the podcast because then I don't feel like I'm completely ignoring women's voices. I'm actually listening to what they have to say, and sometimes they have really good stuff to say. Trash Taste Podcast with Connor C-Dog VA. I don't know who else is on the podcast. I don't know their names. I've seen the podcast. I've seen a couple episodes before. The PewDiePie one, the Yard one, maybe the Hassan one when he's on it. I don't know. I didn't watch that. And I can sit through. I just don't watch it. Sorry. The Sleep Deprived Podcast. Now, to be real, it was a podcast for the first 90% of its lifespan, and then now in recent years, I think they've leaned more towards just sleep deprived gaming. So it's not a podcast anymore. It's just them playing games together for a 30-minute video, and that's it. That's all they do. The podcast doesn't even happen anymore. They just play games now. They don't yap for an hour. They just, there's nothing else I can say. Shut Up, I'm Talking is with Tommy Innit and Jack Manifold. These guys are pretty cool. I think I relate to these guys more because they're around my age, about 20. I'm 21. Tommy's I think 20 right now. I think it's not a bad podcast. I would watch it, definitely. Okay, Press Escape is by Valkyrie and her friend. I don't know. It's not a bad podcast. I just don't watch it. I've seen a couple here and there, I forget which ones exactly, but I've seen a couple episodes, and it's not a bad podcast at all. But they do pop up on my feed every once in a while, and maybe I'll watch like for a little bit, maybe if the episode is interesting enough. You know, I love the aesthetic too. I love like the little aesthetic. I love the intro as well. The intro animation is really cute. The Let Me Know podcast is a fairly recent one with Sandwich and Caroline Kwan. These two are funny. They're theater kids. They're kind of like losers, but like, you know, they're like the cool losers that like you want to hang out with, like at a party. Like you see everyone, like imagine like all these guys here like at our party. I want to go talk to Sandwich and Caroline Kwan just to like observe them. That's actually weird. They're just to like have a conversation, because I think they're just really chill. I'm already parasocial enough for ranking on these podcasts and trying to imagine myself at a party with these people, but I would want to hang out with these people if I had to choose. I haven't watched a good amount of the recent episodes, but I mean, I'm not opposed to watching more. You know what I'm saying? Above average for sure. Chuckle Sandwich is a podcast that actually recently ended. I think it was a good one while it lasted. I watched consistently for a long time, and I think I fell off as the time went on, but I always watch Chuckle Weeks. The Chuckle Weeks were good. If you don't know what Chuckle Weeks are essentially just like they would spend like a week and just batch record tons of episodes with different guests. It's always a fun time. The Chuckle Weeks are all awesome. And then, you know, in between they'd have like occasional like Discord call episodes, which are fine too, but I didn't watch a lot of them. But the Chuckle Weeks I always watched, because those were really fun. I love the sets. The aesthetic was really nice. I missed Charlie. I think Charlie should have stayed. It was kind of cringe that he left, but whatever. Sure. For its time being alive, it'd be really funny just to put it in Can't Sit Through. I think it's above average. It's okay. I have to put it above average. I would be supreme if it was just Chuckle Weeks. If it was just Chuckle Weeks, I would put it supreme. But speaking of Ted Nivison, he is connected in a sense to another YouTube channel or set of YouTube channels called Smosh. If you don't know what Smosh is, you're living under a rock for some reason, or you're just not chronically online like I am. Smosh is a really old YouTube channel that currently have a running podcast run by two of their cast members, Shane. I want to say Gillis, but I know it's Top. Shane Top and Amanda Leanne Canto. This is a fun podcast, especially because they occasionally do like little bits here and there where it's like they would like do like Try Not to Laugh, where they would just do like do the podcast, but it's just them cracking jokes left and right and like trying not to laugh, and like, you know, whoever wins or loses like has to do a punishment or like get a prize, whatever. They're really fun people to listen to. And for that, Supreme is really good. I like it a lot. I wish I could have gone to their live show, but I was not able to, unfortunately. So, but anyway, the reason why I brought up Ted Nivison when it comes to Smosh, like he's been on a couple of their videos before, and he literally, like today I think was the episode that was released where Ted was on their podcast, the actual Smosh Mouth podcast, which is cool. Speaking of Ted Nivison, he and Tucker Keene, I think is his name, started a podcast after Chuckle Sandwich ended. Ted and Tucker reincarnated themselves into a new podcast called Take It Easy Podcast, or Take It Easy Podcast. I listened to like the first episode. I'm being like overly mean. I feel like I'm being really mean right now. I'm not trying to be. Please go check out all these guys' podcasts. They're all amazing in their own unique ways. I think it really just relates to what my demographic is and what podcast I listen to the most. Let's be very clear here. The Take It Easy podcast it's basic. It's a basic podcast. Hopping over the pond, we're going to the Steak and Eggs podcast. I listened to a few of these in the early days. The Steak and Eggs podcast, it includes Emiru, Asmongold. I forget the other guy's name. Not Tectone, the new guy. I've seen him. I know his name for sure. I just forget. I'm just blanking right now on his name. But he's there. He replaced Tectone, I'm pretty sure. I don't watch anymore. I haven't watched it in a while. I think the whole Asmongold stuff really made it go. It just feels awkward. I feel bad for Emiru, bro. Like, what? 2 podcasts already? What's happening, Emiru? Just move to LA already, dude. What are you doing? Now, the Sweet and Sour podcast. So I don't watch a decent amount of their episodes. I've seen like about 20% of their overall catalog so far, right? And that consists of the one with Ludwig and the one, I think with Cutie. I don't know if they made a Cutie. Hold on. I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4. I've seen at least 4 of their episodes so far out of, say, about 26 they've made. You could say I don't watch them, but I don't think that's fair, because I do think that they're great podcasts. For me, this is going to sound really wrong, but let me explain. this humanized Pokemon in a way that I haven't like seen her in before. Not that I don't see her as human, but like I don't watch her content. Like she's just another face along with all the other faces on Twitch, on YouTube, whatever, of another creator making content. But I never watched her content. I never like was like a Pokemon fan, you might say. It's nice to like watch a podcast with like new people, new content creators, so I can see more about them, especially with like a Lily Pichu as well. Like she's been making the rounds when it comes to just being in my zeitgeist, because she's been interacting with Ludwig and people in like I guess the LA sphere. Not like she hasn't already, but like I've been exposed to her more over the recent like months, I would say. And watching this podcast, it just feels like getting to know more like new friends. You know what I mean? It's a fun podcast. I think it's great. You guys should check it out. It's not a bad podcast at all. Impulsive. This has been around for a long time. It's with Logan Paul. Mike used to have a third guest. I think they do have a third guest now, but I don't know who they are. I don't watch. I've seen a couple out of their giant, massive catalog. I don't watch their podcasts. I'm sorry. Speaking of Impulsive and the previous guests, there is another podcast, which is another, I guess, YouTuber, but he's more of a podcaster at this point because he doesn't do like YouTube, I guess. He's a very Christian guy. It's a very Christian-based podcast, but it's after, because if you don't know, George Janko used to be on the Impulsive and then like had a massive emotional breakdown or whatever. It was a whole thing. He left the Impulsive and then he made his own show, and that was, again, massively successful as well. So good on George. You know, I've seen a few. I think it's above average. I think it's not a bad podcast. I don't know. I'm just some guy. I'm just some guy ranking some podcasts. Some guy with 1,000 subs on YouTube. And last but not least, the Common Sense Podcast. What can I say about the Common Sense Podcast? Well, it's by a couple internet stars called Peter Rico and Adrien Horta. If you might know them. It's my podcast. It's my stream. I mean, okay, it can be improved. I'm gonna be honest. It can be improved. It can be improved a lot, and we're working on that. We have a couple episodes. We're gonna be doing some rebranding, some stuff. We'll get back to you guys in a little bit on that. But it's a great podcast. Check it out. It is my podcast, Common Sense Podcast. Check it out in the description below. Subscribe and like. See you guys next time. Bye bye.